Yeah, I went to sea when I was 14, largely to escape my circumstances on shore, which were not the best, but we'll tell you about that another time. So yeah, off I went, and I stuck at that for about 9 years. Irish seaports, but I used to jump ship a lot. You know what I mean? If I don't know, you go in somewhere and then I get talking to somebody, and then they go on their boat, you know. And also it's a very seasonal thing, so you're following like pelagic species around, maybe following herring and mackerel, following them around, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can be away for, you know, the older blokes used to fly home because they had families and all, but I just used to stay with the boat wherever we happened to be, you know. Trip, it depends what you're fishing. Now, like, so these boats here, these are just day boats. They go out and back the same day. If you're fishing mackerel and herring, you see they're very perishable, so you wouldn't be out much more than a day. But if you go up to the North Sea and all that, you know, you do 21-day trips then. Or whitefish, yeah, you can do a week or something like that, you know, because you can ice that fish up and it keeps better. And boats I was on, mostly maybe half a dozen blokes, you know. And the ranking, you get the skipper, who is the supreme man, you know, and he'll, you know, his word is law, and he'll hit you, you know what I mean, if he doesn't like what you're doing. Then you'd have the mate. Then you might have an engineer boy, you know what I mean, and that's about it really, you know, when you take turns with the cooking and stuff. Some of them have a designated cook. I remember when I first started getting watches, you know what I mean, when I was, I guess, 14, 15, and I would just steam the boat out to the grounds, which might be, you know, a few hours. The big fellas, they'd probably been in the pub, you know, and so they'd be below getting their heads down. And I can remember the sense of responsibility, you know, and it's very humbling to be on a big old sea under a big sky in this little wooden vessel, being chucked about, you know what I mean? It's very, very humbling. It makes you realize how insignificant you are. And yet, you're kind of powerful because you're in charge of them, you know, the safety of the blokes below. But you know, there are times when you it's just really humbling, you know. Well, a good skipper is the one who catches fish for you. Do you know what I mean? And you can get a right old bastard, you know. But if he's catching the fish for you, because you get paid on a share of the catch, you know, you are prepared to let some of his personality traits go, because he's, you know, he's filling the hold for you, you know. So you go out, the boat's expenses are taken off first, off whatever you catch, you know, the fuel, insurance, all that kind of stuff, that comes out. And then the rest of it is shared up, you know, and so the boat owner gets a certain share, then the skipper gets a share and a half or something, and then it comes down all the way down to the deckies and they just get a share, you know. So in theory, you can go to sea and you can work for a week and come back and be in debt, you know what I mean? Because you haven't caught enough to cover the boat's costs. So that comes off the next trip, you know, it accumulates. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Fishermen quite often, they get the ass end of the deal, you know. There's a vagaries of the market, you know, so one week it's making a whole load and then the next week it's making nothing, you know, various species. So you are at the vagary, you know, you're at the behest of, I don't know, those forces that I don't understand. I think, as I remember, right way back, a long time back, I was fishing off of the Isle of Man on a herring fishery, and it was the only herring fishery left open in Britain. So the prices were at a premium, and we called it the Klondike, you know. And I don't know, I guess a man's wage then would be under £100 anyway. But we were on like 1,400 quid a week, which is a lot of money. And they have pound notes over there, you know. So the skipper used to come down on a Saturday lunchtime. We'd all assemble in the pub after we'd done the maintenance on the boat. And he'd come down with a carrier bag full of money each, you know. which was a great thing. It was a great feeling, you know, going around with that much money in your pocket, you know. We were Jack the Lad all right then. Wasted a whole load of it, you know. Gambled some, drank a whole lot. Yeah, I wasn't old enough to drink, you know, but drank a whole lot. Bought my first guitar, first electric guitar. Just bent it, you know. I wouldn't like to go back and do that all again. And it's very different now because there's so many quotas and rules and what have you. And also I think we've plundered the seas for many years. People just treated it like a big unemptiable pool that you could just keep dipping in and dragging stuff out, you know. And obviously we're finding out now that that is not the case, you know. But and also the EU policy now, where they, you know, where they throw perfectly good fish back because they're out of quota, you know, that just, I find that sickening, you know.